The late 80s and 90s, Nintendo shined at the top of the video game industry, with the release of the Nintendo Entertainment System and numerous amazing games like Super Mario Bros., Zelda, Metroid, and countless more. Even when competitors came in attempting to steal their crown, they just continued to release hit after hit. And while they had their down points over the years, they eventually rise back into popularity with something creative and new. And during the early years of their gaming career, Nintendo created a competition that became a part of gaming history, the Nintendo World Championships. In 1990, across 30 cities in the US, players competed in select games to see who was the best, making this one of the earliest esports events in history. The tournament consisted of 3 games with the objective to earn the highest score within 6 minutes and 21 seconds. The games chosen were Super Mario Bros., Rad Racer, and finally Tetris. After each game's objective was completed, contestants were sent straight into the next game, with their total scores displayed once the timer was up. These challenges included collecting 50 coins, reaching the finish line, and scoring as many points in Tetris. By the end of the event, 3 winners were crowned, and Nintendo would continue events like these in the following years with Nintendo Campus Challenge and Powerfest. But after that, nothing. Well, that was until Nintendo brought back the World Championships for E3 2015, allowing me to watch the event live for the first time, considering I wasn't live for the previous ones. And ending the tournament with Mario Maker was insane to see since the game wasn't even released yet. Reminded me of that Wizard movie where it showed off Mario 3 before the US release. From here, Nintendo would do another World Championships in 2017, along with tournaments for singular games like Mario Kart, Smash Bros., and Splatoon, which they still go on today. But the multiple games format from the World Championships, to me, were cooler to see, considering you'd never know what games you'd be tested on. And Nintendo decided to take this aspect and bring it home for everyone across the globe to experience, with Nintendo World Championships NES Edition. Over 150 challenges across 13 NES games to compete online against others, or offline with up to 7 friends. While following the same structure as the NES Remix games for the Wii U and 3DS, rather than changing the aspects of a game around, NWC NES focuses on the competitive nature of the tournaments, with the main objective to rank higher than players online via the weekly leaderboards. Now for this release, you have 2 options to choose how to purchase it. You could go on the eShop and buy it for $30, or you can go for this nice deluxe set with a few extra goodies that come with a physical copy of the game for $60. Obviously, I was going for the deluxe set since I'm a big fan of having a physical copy to own, plus the bonuses that come with it do look really cool. So before going into the game itself, let's take a look at what comes in the deluxe set and see if it's worth the extra $30. If you want to get straight to the game review, head to the time shown on screen, and I'll see you there. Otherwise, let's open this box up. Getting straight to the point, the first thing you get here is a physical copy of the game, all 435 megabytes of it. Before this was officially revealed, I assumed it was only going to be a digital release, but luckily that isn't the case. Besides some nice artwork like the inside showing pins found within the game, this is just a standard Switch case. What makes the physical release special are the additional items that come along with the game. Next up are the 13 art cards with each game's box art and a sprite on the back. The cards look great and the material used gives them a nice glossy look, although it's pretty easy to get smudges on them, so be careful with that. Also, while the sprites on the back are nice, I would have liked if they instead provided a brief bio on each game, or even just showed the back of the game's box art. A single sprite just looks like they just wanted to put something on there, so it's not just a white card. More of a nitpick honestly, but the cards are nice, and if you have a place in mind to put them, they can make a good addition to a game display. Now we get to the good stuff here in this set. The next bonus is a set of 5 pins based on a few found within the game itself. And these things look amazing! First off, the pins selected were great choices. Including both a character and an item from their games adds more detail to the physical pin. Mario with the mushroom, Link with the Triforce, even Samus and the Morph Ball. Plus, I love that one pin is just the NWC logo, maintaining the same upside down triangle and font used since the original 90s tournament. It's a small touch, but it shows the history of where this all started. While they look amazing, I'm probably gonna keep them safely in their box, like the Mario 35th anniversary pins I got. But these are so cool to have and make a great addition to the deluxe set. Well, this and the final item here. A replica gold NES cartridge with the NES edition logo. This actually has a good bit of history behind it. After the 1990s Nintendo World Championships ended, the 90 finalists were given the NES cartridge used in the tournament, along with 26 gold variants given out in a sweepstakes through Nintendo Power. These cartridges soon became extremely valuable with how so little were made. Looking at old eBay listings, these things would go for thousands of dollars. And while I don't have the real cartridge, I do have the next best thing. A couple years back, a company called RetroZone took one of the cartridges and created reproduction carts for fans to purchase on their site, allowing people to experience the 90s competition for themselves, as well as providing information on the tournament, tips from a winner and runner-up, and little extra tidbits in the instruction booklet. I played this reproduction card so many times, and even had friends try it out to see who could do the best with it. And this replica cartridge is a perfect homage to the tournament. A shiny gold shell with the NES edition logo. It even comes with an NES cartridge sleeve. This thing is simply beautiful. Comparing this to my gold Legend of Zelda cartridge, it looks identical to the real thing. Same texture, size, gold coloring, and instead of the caution info on the back, the replica has symbols representing all 13 games in the competition. While it doesn't hold any actual game inside, I would love to see someone take a 90s reproduction card and insert it into the replica, cut an opening for the switches and room for the board to slide in at the bottom, and this would be amazing. And if you don't want to modify the cartridge, there is this nice stand that you can use to display it. FYI, as I was editing this video, I found someone that did this exact same thing. I'll put a link in the description below so you can check it out. But it's so cool to see that someone actually did this. The cartridge and pin set are the real highlights from the deluxe set, and if you plan to get this game eventually, these extra bonuses are a great reason to go for the physical copy. Although I'm not sure how long these will stick around for, you never know with Nintendo. With everything in the deluxe set looked over, I think it's a good time to talk about the actual game. Does it provide a similar experience to the tournament it's named after? Let's see. Starting up the game, you get a brief summary of the Nintendo World Championship and how it was difficult for some people to attend, either from not being near one of the participating locations, or in my case, not being born yet. I got a good chuckle out of that. From there, you create a profile consisting of an icon using one of the sprites found in one of the games, a hype tag to best represent you, and lastly, your favorite NES game. With every released NES game listed, you have so many amazing games to choose from, like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, Back to the Future, Fester's Quest, Bugs Bunny's Birthday Blowout, and even Crazy Castle. Literal masterpieces. For me, I went with Mario holding a turnip since Mario 2 was one of the few NES games I had growing up, Game Boy generation since it was my first system I didn't share with my siblings, and my favorite title is Mario 3, because it's my favorite and it was the first NES game I ever bought. After a profile is set, you can head straight into playing, and you'll get to choose a challenge from any of the 13 games provided, with classics like Mario 1-3, Zelda, Metroid, Kid Icarus, Balloon Fight, Excite Bike, and a few more. The challenges can range from extremely simple, like grabbing the Morph Ball in Metroid or going through the door in Mario 2, to extreme tests of skills like defeating Twin Bellows in Kid Icarus or completing 2 laps in Excite Bike. After completing a challenge, you'll be ranked on your performance, with S given for near perfect runs. Receiving an A rank or higher rewards you with a new pin to display on your profile. And while S isn't entirely necessary, that didn't stop me from wanting to complete each challenge with the best time. From Mario to Kirby, I run through every challenge and I wouldn't move on until I got that S rank. And the game provides some useful features to help learn from each attempt. On screen you have a timer and a controller indicating your inputs throughout your run, and once completed you'll be able to review the best attempt and review frame by frame of what you did that worked well and what needs to be corrected. Seeing where the best place to jump in Mario, learning enemy movements in Zelda, and the best angles to do off a ramp in Excite Bike can cut off vital seconds. And if you feel like a run is lost, pressing L and R will immediately reset to go again. That countdown sound will be seared in your memories by the time you're done with this game. You'll be using at least one of these to help you, as while the challenges start out reasonable, they'll gradually grow more difficult, eventually reaching legendary difficulty. Longer challenges that take all you've learned and put it to the test. And they aren't kidding about that difficulty title. It's not to say you're going in without any help, because the legend missions do come along with some classified information to review, taking inspiration from the old Nintendo Power magazines that were released back in the day. Seeing the best route to the goal, how to avoid enemies, and additional tips to obtain the best rank possible. While daunting at first, with enough time and effort, you'll get the hang of it. And when that S rank pops, it'll always feel amazing. This game excels in the flow of gameplay, and with over 150 challenges to complete, you'll have plenty to do. That being said, some games like Ice Climbers and Balloon Fight don't have much outside of going up and popping balloons, so they have fewer challenges compared to the Mario and Zelda games. Also, in regards to mission variety, the ones that take a second to finish are so short, I feel like they could have been replaced with more fleshed out ones. Pulling a turnip and stomping a paratroopa isn't much of a challenge. But when you consider they gradually grow harder, these earlier missions are like preparations for later ones. Plus, when we discuss the online modes, having some challenges you can quickly repeat over and over again isn't too bad. Could have had more harder missions to balance out the large amount of easy ones, but maybe DLC could help with this in the future. Something else I should mention that I'm not really sure if it's a complaint, but keep in mind that these are NES games, and they play exactly how they did back in the day. While Mario and Donkey Kong play well, you'll also have games like Metroid and Kirby, where they'll slow down depending what's on screen. This can be annoying, specifically in Kirby, where the game can really chug along and affect how you perform in a challenge. Although, considering the whole gimmick of this release is to compete in NES games, I'm not sure if updating the games would have been the right call with what this was set out to do. Besides performance, if it's been a while or you never played any of these games, there'll be a learning curve with the controls. Jumping with Mario isn't the same as with Pit or with the Ice Climbers. Other than that, the games are fun to play, and running through every challenge can get really addicting. Although outside of that, and one additional trial that I won't spoil, there isn't much regarding solo offline modes. I know it's silly to say considering this is supposed to be an online competition game, but maybe if they had the full NES games available after completing every challenge, it could have been a nice reward for your hard work outside of seeing a screen full of S's. These games don't take up much space to include. Over the course of the speedrun mode, you'll earn a hefty amount of coins that you can use to unlock more missions or new sprites for your profile. Would have been cool to have more to buy, like additional themes to display, but the sprites are what you'll be spending your coins on. And with a large assortment to choose from, there's plenty here. Unfortunately, it doesn't mean much since you can only display one on your profile. Which brings us to the main aspect of this release, the online competition. First up is the World Championships, where each week 5 challenges are selected for you and others around the world to compete in to see who can finish with the fastest time. Same as the speedrun mode, but these times will be submitted for the leaderboards. Would have been nice to have your personal best already submitted, because replicating a personal best can be difficult, but hey, it gives you a chance to possibly do better. After the week is done, players will see the results based on 2 categories, one with everyone, and the other by the year you were born. Considering there's a pin for placing in the top 20%, I wanted to make sure I ranked high, so I played all 5 stages religiously until I felt comfortable with my runs. And once results came in, I actually popped out of my chair with how good I did. Seeing me placing in the top 1, 5, 15% was incredible, and shows how much fun the game's competitive nature can really be. While the mystery of not knowing how well I was doing compared to others made the results feel more exciting, having a leaderboard available during the event to see possible times I could strive for would have been helpful. Along with being able to review other runs through, considering you can just find people's runs online if you look for them, there wouldn't be any harm including this, especially since the player still needs to perform the runs themselves. The least they could have done was let you compare runs on your friends list. Outside of players around your placement, there's no full leaderboard view, and while there isn't a way to view everyone's runs, you can view the first place run after the event. And honestly, seeing the moves done to get these times made me laugh, like, wait, that backwards jump helped him? Wait, you could jump around the enemies in Metroid? And look at the changes in button inputs to save time grabbing the mushroom. The World Championships mode does a solid job with offering the random challenge fun the original tournaments offered. While I would have liked an additional mode where you ran through all 5 games back to back, each one individually is still fun to compete in. But this is just the leaderboard. What about a real-time competition? Well, survival mode should be the answer for that. Okay, never mind, what do I know? Yeah, the survival mode has you compete in a silver and gold cup against other players' ghost data. Not people playing then and there, just the runs they did previously. That's disappointing. The silver ghost data are runs with more errors, while the gold ones have more near-perfect runs. While fun to do, this doesn't do much different compared to the other modes. Plus, look how small your screen is by default! In the options, you can tweak this, along with whether if you want guides or your best run displayed on screen, which is nice, but this by default is horrible. I had to squint at the tablet for handheld mode. What's funny is that the Mario 2 mission here is where I learned about a tech to cut the carpet ride, making the lack of viewing replays online even crazier because I'm seeing 7 other runs through via ghost data. And once you finish first, that's it. Here's a trophy, a nice pin, see you next week. How is there no online versus mode with real players? That was the whole point of the original competition. It's such a missed opportunity. You can compete with players locally in party mode, but I didn't get my group together to play yet, so I can't say much besides instead of it being elimination based, it's score based. Something that could have been available online too, just saying. Overall, the competitive modes here are fun and addicting, and I'm surprised on how invested I got in the World Championship mode, but the lack of anything here to connect the community together makes it feel like you're in school taking a test and waiting to see how you did. I can see myself playing weekly for leaderboard placements, and the features that are here help in improving runs, it's just you can only go so far from looking at only your runs. Not to mention nothing worthwhile to spend your coins on outside of sprites and missions, no full games, no themes, just something to customize your screen could have been so much fun to earn as you played. For solo players, you'll likely be done within a week and move on to the next game. While the game provides a large assortment of challenges and the grind to achieve better was a blast for me, I couldn't recommend this to my friends since I know most of them aren't interested in an online leaderboard. If you're into more casual gaming and aren't interested in playing the same challenges over and over again, $30 isn't that bad of a price, but I can understand waiting for a sale too. If the game was perhaps $20 or even an NSO game for subscribers, I could see many people enjoying it. Just imagine how many more players would be competing here. But for those who want a fun, competitive game to play weekly based on classic Nintendo titles and aren't worried about using outside sources to compare with others, I think you'll get a lot more enjoyment from this game. As a fan of the NWC, I feel like the gameplay succeeds in providing the same competitive fun the tournaments provided. And hopefully these missing features can be added in future updates, but for now, those who wish to fight for the top spot on the leaderboard, good luck to you, and to everyone else, maybe we'll see you later down the road. What did you think about the Nintendo World Championships NES edition? Are the challenges entertaining, and are the lacking features and modes enough to dampen the fun? Leave your thoughts in the comments below, along with your ideas of possible sequels for other Nintendo consoles like Super Nintendo and GameCube. With that, I'll talk to you guys again soon. Bye. I never thought I'd go crazy over grabbing a morph ball in Metroid over and over and over again, just for a few milliseconds off. I have a newfound respect for speedrunners.